Peace, royal family, and thank you all for tuning in to another edition of the original histories of Africa and migrations of the ancient world. I am your King and Royal Majesty, Pharaoh Mitzrayim, historian, geographer, and the voice of truth. And today I will be revealing the truth on the subject, population of ancient Egypt in the 1st century BCE, the truth revealed. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share this video. Let us now begin our journey to truth. In this video, I am going to debunk an age-old lie and at the same time reveal the truth on the ancient population of Egypt during the 1st century BCE. And I will also show how the population of the native Egyptians decreased and got replaced by foreigners. And the earliest primary source to mention the population of Egypt in the 1st century BCE is found here in Diodorus Siculus' Library of Histories, Book 1, Chapter 31, and it says in quotes, "The land of Egypt then is fortified on all sides by nature in the manner described. The total population, they say, was of old about 7 million, and the number has remained no less down to our day." According to the text we just read, Diodorus Siculus states, the population of Egypt in old times before the Greek Ptolemies was 7 million. And during Diodorus' own time, the population remained the same, 7 million. But there's a problem in this translation, and problem is the last part of this text is a false translation, and it seems the translator's intention was to hide the truth. But to find out what this text really says and know the truth, I am going to show my very own accurate translation directly from the original Greek text. Let us continue. To find out the truth about what Diodorus Siculus really said on the population of Egypt, we must go here to the original Greek text of Diodorus Siculus' Library of Histories, Book 1, Chapter 31, and it says in quotes, "These Sapantos, Tau, Lau, Helion, Fasi, Gijonini, Pedi, Eptacosias, Muradias, Kai, Himus, Uk, Elatos, Ianai, Trio, Kosian." And when translated to English, it says in quotes, "In all the population of old, it is said, being about 7 million, and in our day, no less than 3 million. As we just witnessed, according to my very own accurate translation of this text, the original Greek text of Diodorus Siculus, Book 1, Chapter 31 states, all the population of Egypt in old times during the days of the native pharaohs was 7 million. But in Diodorus' own time, during the 1st century BCE, the population of Egypt dropped to 3 million. And this proves in Diodorus' time, the large native Egyptian population of old no longer existed in Egypt. And Egypt, during the time of Diodorus, was no longer populated by true native Egyptians, who was once the majority of the population of old. But the question that has to be answered is, who were the descendants of the 3 million population of Egypt in Diodorus' time? Let us continue. To answer the question, who were the descendants of the population of 3 million during the time of Diodorus, we must go to a source that is contemporary with Diodorus, and this source was written immediately after Diodorus' time, and that source is found here in Strabo Geography, 1st century BCE, Book 17, Chapter 32, and it says in quotes, "There is also a Serapeum at Memphis, The city is both large and populous, ranks second after Alexandria, and consists of mixed races of people. There are lakes situated in front of the city and the palaces, which latter though now in ruins and deserted. Based on the source we just read, Strabo states, during his time, the old capital city of Egypt, Memphis, was now inhabited by mixed races of people, or in other words, by mixed races of foreigners. And the old capital city was now in ruins and deserted. But now we know, during the time of Strabo, Egypt was no longer inhabited by native Egyptians, but Egypt was now inhabited by mixed races of foreigners. And this is the truth according to Strabo. But let's continue. Let us now focus on the southern capital city of Egypt, known to the ancient historians as the city of Thebes, the city of Amun, and its condition during the time of Strabo. And it is found here in Strabo Geography, Book 17, Chapter 46, and it says in quotes, after Apollonius one comes to Thebes, now called Diodorus. Even now traces of its magnitude are pointed out. Now it is only a collection of villages, a part of it being in Arabia, east of the Nile, where the city was. According to the text we just read, Strabo states the once great city of Thebes in his time was only a collection of small villages and was no longer a great city. But notice, Strabo makes no mention of Thebes being inhabited by Egyptians. And why is this? Because Thebes, Memphis, and all of Egypt during this time was ruled by foreigners and was populated by foreigners. And this is the truth according to Strabo. And on this, I conclude. So there it is. When the source is brought forth, the truth comes out. And when the source is present, the truth cannot be denied. And truth is, Egypt during the 1st century BCE was inhabited by mixed races of foreigners and ruled by foreign kings. And the population of Egypt was no longer native Egyptian. But now we know, long before the arrival of the Greeks, Romans, and Arabs, the old Egypt of the pharaohs had come to an end, and Egypt now was ruled, dominated, and populated by foreigners. And Egypt, during this time, was no longer inhabited by the true native black Egyptians. And according to the same writer, Strabo, the true descendants of these native black Egyptians migrated into Ethiopia and the land to the south and extreme southwest of Egypt. And this is the truth according to real history. I arrest my case.